Welcome to Well Fucked Wife, the podcast. I am Dr. Chelsea Page, licensed sex and relationship therapist, international sex mentor, and expert, helping you become healthy, wealthy, well-loved, and well-fucked. Hello, glorious love sex goddesses. Oh, I know with all the sex magic that we are all wanting to embody. And one of the things that I want to share with you is how deeply, well, really asking ourselves is how deeply are we actually receiving our man? You know, we want to be penetrated deeply, but are we actually opening ourselves up to receive the depths that we want to be penetrated? And this is not just physical, right? I feel like with the sexual side of things, like when we are physically being penetrated, that is one layer of things. And ooh, this gives me chills because recently with my husband, we have deepened into even deeper layers of receiving and penetrating. I feel like over time, I've let Paul into my heart and into my pussy and really opening to receive him. And there's been in the past, there's been like ice around my heart that I've melted, really receiving like the warmth of him into my heart and also just into my sacral and physically with penetration. And so I didn't realize, although duh, is I was just receiving him in those areas. So I wasn't receiving him in my whole body. And to receive, we need to feel safe, right? To surrender, we need to feel safe. And I know for me personally, and just for us as a collective of women, is there's been so much experience that we have had with the masculine energies of the world and including our own that has not felt safe. And so we shut ourselves off and we protect ourselves. And also just receiving and love is, even though we crave it at the same time, we often reject it. And we reject it and we end up castrating our partner's energy, and then they can't penetrate us, and then we don't get the love that we're craving. So we end up self-sabotaging. Oops, hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. That's just the way it goes. So anyways, when we think of receiving, when we go into these deeper depths of emotionally and energetically receiving, I'm going to be explicit because it's the only way I can imagine even describing this, is I was having the most holy shiitake mushrooms sex with my husband the other night. And he, like his masculine energy, like really came out to play, like very just strong and powerful and sturdy. And it's like that feeling of the word that keeps coming up is like contained, like feeling contained in a way that feels safe and protective rather than suppressive. And when we're feeling contained, it's like, then we can bloom and blossom in us women. Like our energies can open and amplify, and we can fucking feel. Like that's what really truly we're craving, is to feel, to feel. So we're having sex and he's penetrating me, and he directs me to focus on feeling him penetrate me. And I realized in that moment, as I'm really feeling him, is I just have up to this point focused on receiving him just in like the confined walls of my vagina. Like that's it. And I focused on feeling him and the different ways of feeling him, like the tip of his penis, the shaft of his penis, and then I went into the base of him and how the base of him was, touching not only just, right at the outside of me, but then I was flowing in and feeling his like thighs next to me. And I was like, oh my God, I have never felt him in this way and therefore me in this way. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like feeling the feeling of me. It's like in the motion of it is it felt like he was like actively denumbing me and awakening my body. It's like when we allow the energy in, it awakens us. It allows us to be alive. And that's like what amplifies our energy. And so I could feel, whew, I can feel it in my body now. It's like I could feel him. I could feel me. I could feel me in the sensation of him touching me. And just feeling all of that and those sensations. And as it just blossomed throughout my body, and it didn't touch all of my body. I could see that myself was still walling off, like in almost like the walls that I have in my body. I don't know what the walls look like in your body. Check in, see what they look like. Is mine can be very sneaky. It's almost like it almost looks like a bubble. So there's a wall that's there, but it's see-through, but it's kind of shiny and shimmery. So if you don't look at it right, it looks like there's nothing there and there's no wall, and it's like sneaky, sneaky, but actually there is a wall. There is, but I can see through it. And yeah, so it's like it looks like a bubble, like the shiny shimmery of a bubble. So I could feel that the edges of that bubble just expanded out, and I allowed him to fill more and more and more of me, but I could still feel some ways in which I was still resisting him. Right? When we're in resistance, we're not in receiving. I'm going to pause for a moment because I'm going to focus in. I'm also driving, so I want to make sure that I am safe. So just receiving him. And this weekend, I'm doing a marriage retreat intensive with a couple. So I'm pretty busy this weekend. And so when we were having sex, I like giggled and I told Paul, I was like, you're just wanting to make sure that I'm thinking about you tomorrow, aren't you? And oh, I know what he said. He said something to the degree of, I don't care where you go, but you are fucking taking me with you. And as he's like fucking me, and I'm like, swoonville. And it really, truly, I feel like days after where I feel him inside of me. And to be honest, I think this is the first time that I have felt him inside of me and stay inside of me rather than this longing to have him in me, longing to be penetrated by him, right? That's the craving. When we're craving sex, we're craving the penetration and we're craving to be filled. And yes, again, physically, but it's emotionally, energetically. Like we want the presence. Penetration is the presence of their energy inside of us. But we can't receive someone inside of us if we're not opening, feeling safe, etc. It is, and what an honor, right? Think of this as for our men, like what an honor to be like inside a queen as she sits on her throne And to know that that energy is in you, not just around you, it fills you. So even when we think of containment, of the being held, right? It's the, if we put this in terms of feminine and masculine, it's like that masculine is like the banks of a river, and the feminine is that flow of the river, and it's contained, right, by the banks of the river. And there are times that the water can overflow and like erode the banks of the river to make it, bigger and wider. And it's going to flow where it's going to flow. But it's interesting to really think of this penetration and this containment on the inside. So I've always visualized it as containment, again, not suppression where it's on top of us and it pushes us down, but instead it's beneath us, holding us, so then we can rise and grow and expand in limitless ways, up and up and up. Interesting. But I feel like when we are actually contained, for lack of a better word, from the inside, right? This goes in alignment with what I always believe in is inside out living, inside out loving, inside out. And it's almost this feeling of when we're contained on the inside. Let's see if I could put words to it. It's, well, we're not just then constricted to growing and deepening up. It literally feels like the universe expanding in all directions, like up, down, in, out, left, right, like south, southeast, south, southeast, and all the ways, like a sphere, just expanding and expanding and expanding. When we allow that energy to be deep inside of us, it's like that's the inception, right? Where seed meets egg, if you will, and then the energy expands and multiplies and builds and grows and creates creation. It's creation. Oh, something else in that. Let's see if I can grab it, receive it. It's like truly at that point, we are limitless because we're like anchored in our being, and we can open and then go beyond even the walls, right, of our body. I did a meditation recently. Where is that housed? Where I expanded and expanded our energy. Ah, yes. I did. It was a love sex meditation. Oh, so powerful, and just allowing our energy to expand and expand beyond the walls of our body, our skin, to reach beyond, beyond, beyond the universe. If you want that meditation, let me know. To be contained from the inside, not controlled from the inside. This is when we let in a masculine energy that has ulterior motives, that is using us, as opposed to cherishing us, honoring us, loving us. And that's what I feel when I let my husband in even deeper and deeper. Is I felt so cherished, so loved, so held, so protected. I could truly melt. I just wanted to share that with you ladies, and see if you can play with allowing the physical sensation of your man to touch you, and notice all of the ways that he is touching you. This is what happens for men, is they can feel not fully received. Like, imagine if they give us like a hug, we receive a hug from them, but we're not fully receiving them because we're in our mind thinking about something. Or we can maybe receive them, we can feel the touch of their hug on our chest, but we're not feeling their hands on our back. We're not feeling the arms touching our arms. We're not feeling maybe their stomach touch our stomach. We're not feeling the stubble of their beard touch our cheek. We're not breathing them in. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite things. This is why I love smushy kisses, as I call it to my husband. I'm like, I don't want drive-by kisses. I don't want little pecks. I don't, yes, the drive-by kisses. I'm like, I want like your lips fully touching mine, and I want to be able to take a breath so I can breathe you in. So just notice how much of your man you are actually receiving in, of what he is already giving you. And we receive all of what he is providing, then he's going to provide more. But if he's not being received in what he's already providing, then he's just going to, that hits on his feeling less of a man, to not be received by the woman that he loves most. Just might as well just cut him off at the balls, which is what we do energetically. On that note, I'm sending you ladies so much love. Receive fully what is being provided to you. Gratitude, love, appreciation. Let it fill you. Let it be felt inside of you. When we feel and are filled with what is already here for us, we will naturally receive more.
That was delicious. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I would love to invite you to come a little bit closer to drchelseapage.com, where you will find all the goodies for support, including my private coaching and the Well Fucked Wives Club. I will see you in the next episode.